skates right now.
Hey, man. Good karma.
Maybe you're invincible.
You did something right to somebody.
Somewhere, I guess.
I don't believe that.
What is up, everybody, and welcome in to a brand new season of the Pregame Lounge. Oh, man. Our energy is so high for a game that we're not even certain we can watch.
Yeah, that's
We might
that's a good question.
analyze
We'll
the
figure it
box
out.
score.
Yeah, that part puts a damper on
You guys
the evening.
remember what it was like? Am I the only old head here? Do you guys remember back in the day when that's all the option you had is you'd pull up the box score and just watch it change?
I was going to say, do
time.
you guys remember when you could actually watch a game on regular
That's
cable?
also going way back. But we're here. It's
God, I was
preseason.
still a kid.
That's just a young boy.
Just a young lad.
We got the Nuggets in Los Angeles to take on the preseason Clippers. Not even the real Clippers. It's the preseason Clippers. But you know what? My hype level, I would call this a 8.5 out of 10.
I mean, honestly, I don't know what would make me more hyped about a preseason game.
What do you mean? You don't know what would? Like if Yoke was here, I would be more hyped.
I don't need to see Nikola Jokic's preseason.
I don't need to see it, but I would like to
I'm
see
actually
it.
with Harrison on this.
I don't
I
need
actually
to- I don't
think
need to
for
see Jamal
preseason
Murray.
alone,
Yeah.
I think it's more exciting that all of the the guys are out.
Totally agree.
To give other people a chance, and also this is their moment. Like this is going to be serious for some guys. If Jokic is in there, he's not serious. You're scared every single time that is happening. Right now, we got a lot of guys that we're excited about. I think that the Nuggets have a better opportunity for everybody to be like, this is awesome.
You raise a great point about if Yoke was here, he wouldn't care, so he wouldn't be playing very hard. That's true. Are you hyped like me? Or?
Dude, you have to be. I was actually at a 9. I was nervous today. Like first day of school energy. Just the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
Like the good nervous. Good to
Yeah.
be back. I agree with these fellas, though. I think if you've been online at all today, but really at any point over the last month, you're thinking of one thing right now. One dude, Bones Hyland. Those pictures of him and Moach, the apropos of nothing, the unsolicited Bones Hyland shout out for
Hey.
Moach today.
Let's get to it. Actually, let's
do
get
it.
right in.
Let's
Let's
do it.
dive right into that.
Let's
First,
do
I
it,
have to
Yeah,
remind you
break it
guys we're
down.
presented by
Break it down.
DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Later in the show, the man over here wearing the Bumblebee costume is going to tell us. He's going to tell
a
us
Ralph Lauren
how
shirt.
to bet on.
How dare you?
The
This
preseason
man dresses
game.
better than any of us, and
That's
it's not
so
even
true.
close.
Of course,
man.
we all know this. I'm still going to
How
pick on
dare
him, though.
you.
I'm still going to pick on him. All right, let's get into the game notes here. Michael Malone did do pre-game availability, and he had some fire. Harrison, you want to walk us through this?
Yeah, well, he said a lot. He had a lot to say, man.
He did say a
Maybe
lot.
this is a new Michael Malone that we're getting pregame. You know, we never, we never know what
turning
we're
a new
getting
leaf.
from him. Sometimes he reveals a lot. Sometimes he reveals not a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe we're getting more relaxed Malone pregame.
No.
Probably not.
No.
But we'll see.
Okay.
I'll just cut to the chase, like Vogt teased. Unsolicited, Michael Malone said, "You know who's had a really good training camp?
Who's that?
Bones Hyland."
Whoa.
And let me walk you through how it happened. I asked Malone a question about PJ Dozier. I thought it was a good question.
It was.
Oh, Will
It's a very
Barton's
good
out.
question,
You know,
Harrison.
how's PJ look during camp? Is this a chance for him to get more minutes? We can get into the PJ Dozier part, and that part is like PJ Dozier's good. He's in Malone's circle of trust. He's going to go get a lot of
Circle of
minutes.
trust.
But I wasn't even thinking about Bones Hyland when I asked this question. He wasn't even in my
I
head.
could tell because you said PJ Dozier.
Yeah, I was very direct. But out of nowhere, unprompted, Michael Malone just gives PJ Dozier that shout out.
Bones
Bones
Hyland.
Hyland.
Or Bones Hyland, sorry.
But yeah,
So close.
He gives
That-
Bones Hyland that shout out. That was something.
I think what's crazy about Bones Hyland, I think he's the one that comes up unsolicited every single time. Like really,
Yeah.
because I was watching I was listening to the Spaces with Jamal Crawford, and it's just a lot of guys asking him a lot of New York Knicks question after New York Knicks question, and then they asked him about like who does he see as like 6 men of the year. They wanted to Emmanuel Quickly, and he's like, if you really want to see somebody that should be 6 men of the year, that Bones Hyland.
What?
That's a guy that you have to go after. And it was
Hooper,
like out of nowhere.
Jamal Crawford, total hooper.
Hooper to hooper.
Like if you had the quadrant, you know, whatever, he's the top corner hooper.
He's like Jokic on the
yeah,
TPA charts. just
For
up
those
there by himself.
keeping track at home, 5 minutes into the pregame show,
preseason
we've
game
got
number one.
we got three hoopers.
Get the counter going in the,
Get the
top
hooper
left.
counter. You're right, though, Harrison. Malone does do this in his media availability. There's like, he'll walk in with one thing I have to say. And like, nobody asked to let him there. So he's like, PJ Dozier, yeah, Bones Hyland. Let's go over here, too.
Yeah.
But, you know, it echoes so much of what we've heard coming out of camp, of just that he's looked good, he's impressed, he's got the great attitude, all this.
Yeah.
We talked about needing the energy. So for Malone to go out of his way to kind of really say it, I am moving my hope meter up from like, is he going to play at all? There's like no chance he's going to play. I'm moving it up from like 2 out of 10 to now I'm like 6 out of 10. I think he's going to play this year.
That's a huge jump.
That's a huge jump. Not just
based on just 1 week of practices.
But all the things coming out. All I'm saying is there seems to be a momentum for it. Hey, this might be a guy that actually is capable of playing minutes.
How about this? I mean, the nature of Wynn's question was who's fighting for minutes, like who's a bubble guy, and Malone's brain went to Bones. So, I mean, I do think for the most part, 1 through 10 is probably set. But if you're looking at question marks, bubble guys that can move in and out, I think you got to go right to Bones in that Austin Rivers kind of slot.
With all those other guys that are on the team, especially that are going to be fighting for positions, and a lot of people that are just going to be building up, for him to keep on bringing up a rookie, that's major. Like, that's a big time move for him, and especially to be going against the other point guards on the team, which you have a lot of.
Right.
Like, Bones has to be really just dominating every single way. And it's not even only the coaches that are talking about it. Like, the players are actually talking about it. There's real hype.
So what happened yesterday or was it today? The Nugget Social, by the way, who's been absolutely killing it. Got to give a shout to our guy, Eric. But what did they have the question, who has the best handles on the team? Now, admittedly, this is a difficult question because I don't know if there's a guy on the Nuggets roster that you say oh man, that's the great handles. But there are guys that have good handles, and there's veteran players who are secure with the ball, and almost all of them said Bones.
Michael Malone also said Bones.
Michael Malone did say Bones.
I'm surprised he answered that.
Michael Malone actually said himself, but then he said Bones, which is hilarious. I don't know. I just feel like that means something. I mean, veterans don't usually credit rookies with anything. Yeah. It's just a thing, and so.
So here's my take on what Malone said today in the pregame. I think part of it is, like we were saying, he's had a really good camp. He stood out, and I'm with you. If he plays well in the preseason, I think he can definitely carve out a role for himself in the regular rotation. I really do. The other part of it, which I don't know if this is true, but it's my read on it. We know how online Bones Hyland is, and I guarantee you Michael Malone also knows how online Bones Hyland is. And what would any rookie need before their first preseason game? How about a little jolt of confidence? And I'm 100% certain by the time the game starts, Bones Hyland is gonna have seen that quote from Michael Malone.
That's a great point.
So I think part of this is Malone just admitting that Bones Hyland has looked good. Another part of this, my hypothesis, is that he's just trying to pump up the rookie's confidence a little bit before his first game.
In his own language.
Yeah.
Online. I'm sure you'll see this on the internet.
Dude, this is my favorite thing that we do, and it's because this is day number 1. That's such a galaxy brain take, and I'm not even saying it's wrong.
Is it that crazy?
Yes, it's a little crazy. I mean, come on, it's a little crazy. It might be true, but it's also a little crazy that we're what he's really doing.
Crazy.
If you look.
I mean, I think that's part of it. I think he has looked good at camp, but I also think he's trying to give him some confidence here.
Dev?
I don't think that Bones lacks confidence, though.
But no, he doesn't, man. He doesn't. But any rookie's going to have a little bit of jitters in their first game. Yeah. Come on.
I love Malone sitting there being like, you know what? Bones needs confidence.
I guarantee you LeBron was nervous for his first preseason game, man.
I'll tell you this. I'm buying at least half of that. Bones has seen it by now.
Yes.
You're 100% right about
He's
that.
He's logged on.
I do agree, with Harrison, as far as I do know that he knows that Bones is going to see it. So it's let's just, just throw it like a bone out there because he... you see what I did there? Let's just throw that out there because we know what he's going to do, and he's going to see it. And, yeah, it's going to be jitters going into a game. Also... we already know that he has high expectations for himself, and he brings that type of energy. So I'm behind Harrison on this one.
What do we expect from Bones tonight then? So, we're hyped for him, but what is a realistic expectation? First of all, let's start basic. How much is he going to play tonight?
Well, the Stars,
Will Barton.
Yeah, Stars are going to play around 20 minutes, and the starters are Monte Morris, PJ Dozier, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Jeff Green. So
what an interesting combo of players.
Yeah. Spacing...
all right.
We'll see. How much is he going to play? 20 minutes, I'd say 25 minutes.
25 is a lot.
You want to give him some playing time, but you don't want to, go over 25 and just give him everything right off the bat.
How many minutes?
Around 20. I mean, I think that's probably what I'm expecting based on
There are going to be a lot of guys who play around 20.
I'm curious, though, to your first question, right? I mean, we know some of what Bones can do. So if he comes out and he knocks down a bunch of threes, it's cool to see, but we know Bones can do that. As far as what you want him to see, I mean, maybe territory of reading the floor as a point guard, as a playmaker.
I feel like I know he could do that too.
So what is it? Well, look to you. What if you could see one thing from Bones tonight?
I mean, I would love to see some scoring because it's fun.
I want to see him launch a 30-footer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't know that you can read. Basketball's a sport where anything can happen in one game.
Sure.
So you can't read good, bad, whatever too much into it. But tonight, I wouldn't mind seeing him launch. Yeah, one deep three.
Yeah,
I'll just
for
be like,
sure.
it'll be like an MPJ three or something. Dev, what do you expect?
You want to see the scoring, of course, but also I think that with it being his first game, I think they want him to like get into like a zone or a rhythm, and that's the passing, because that's what we already know he can score, and he knows he can score. His whole thing is going to be, how do I get everyone else involved? How do I look without all the other starters? They're not going to put him around the big guys. They're going to put him with that second unit and see how he runs that. He should understand that I'm not going to be asked to score here. I'm going to be asked to be a true point guard. So I think that he understands, and we've seen that in preseason. Although I can score whenever I want to, I also can pass. I also can try to show some effort on the defensive end. Like, there's a lot of other things that I can do, and I think he's going to buy into that.
The best part of his summer league this year was that game against Dallas where they were down, and like the whole second half, the team just yielded to him. And I think it was only like his second or third game, from summer league, and the whole team was just kind of looking to him. And then after the game, I think it was like Devon Reed or somebody come up, put his arm around him, and was like MVP or something like that. The whole team was kind of like, "Hey man, we don't know what to do. You can help us." Look, this is a more veteran team now. He's playing with real Nuggets and this or that. But that's what I'm curious. Does he have sort of the floor presence out there where guys are like, "Hey man, what do you want us to do?" Look to him like that. I don't expect it. That's too high to say I expect it, but I didn't expect it in summer league, and he did it.
But he also could be playing with some of the guys he played with at summer league.
That's true.
Ignacy and Bol. I mean, we'll probably be out there with him for a bit. So.
Yeah. Are there any other game notes you want to get to? I know we're kind of working. Kale's probably scratching his head here because we're going backwards a little bit. But is there any other notes out of Malone?
So there were actually. He said
Kale's like, I don't know where to go.
Malone said a lot, like I mentioned earlier. Nikola Jokic not playing tonight. The plan's to play him Wednesday in Golden State. I hate that personally.
Is it because of the curse?
Absolutely. Forfeit the game right now. Just don't show up. Do not play in that arena.
You're ridiculous.
It's cursed.
All right.
Will Barton, the hope is he plays in that game too.
Oh, man, the real Nuggets?
This is what in Chase Center. So, yeah.
Look at Harrison is truly disgruntled by this.
But yeah, it seems like we could get the real Nuggets, minus Jamal Murray, of course, Wednesday in Golden State.
I'm a little surprised to see Yoke out there.
Me too.
I thought he would.
In that arena, Wynn's right.
I thought he would make his debut at home
on Friday. On Friday, yeah. So
so there was that, and then Vogt kind of alluded, or we both alluded to it, the PJ Dozier factor. PJ Dozier's not really fighting for any extra minutes.
Expectations. I think that's like a good feeling. And like they're loose. They're going to just go out and play. Your starters aren't there, so there's not high expectations at all. You just want to just stay healthy and have fun, type of thing.
I almost wonder if that's better for the newcomers, that it's not the championship aspiration group on the floor right away. His preseason game number 1, maybe more important, go out, have fun, get used to playing basketball with each other, than we have to be that team from day one, which probably creates some pressure.
Yeah. All right, let's move on and talk about some of the other guys. So Bones, we've talked about, a little bit of Dozier. Who else are we excited for? I wanted to do this top 3. And by the way, in the comment section, play along with us. I want to see this. Let's all assume Bones is our number 1, so let's throw him out. What are your next top 3 guys you're most excited to watch tonight? Let's start with you, Vogt.
Aaron Gordon. We've heard a lot about him looking like the standout. He's told us about feeling healthier. Plenty of talk from us on this end about where is he at this stage of his career with the athleticism versus the injuries. I'm really excited to see where he's at physically tonight, and if he takes any initiative as, all right, you look at the group that's out there, maybe he's certainly not the longest tenured Nugget or anything, but does he assume any responsibility and try to assert himself and get things going?
All right, so that's number 1. Who's your number 1, Harrison?
Michael Porter Jr.
I forgot about that. That's my number 1.
I mean, look, dude, if the Nuggets are going to be a championship contender this year, I don't want to put all the pressure on him, but it's largely up to him, I feel like, in the leap that he might make if Denver's going to be able to get to the finals. So the first sign we're going to see if he's made a big leap is tonight, I think. So I'm very hyped for MPJ.
Do you feel like you'll read into anything tonight? If he has a great game, are you going to be like, oh, man, he's
I'll
ready?
be looking for the little things. I wrote this huge article on the DNVR today about Michael Porter Jr. and what he learned from Steph Curry. One of the things he learned is he's always got to be moving without the ball. So little stuff like that. If he's moving a lot without the ball, I think that'd be a good sign. So I'll be looking for stuff like that.
You know what I loved about that story so much? Porter's one of maybe 5 people on the planet who can go, all right, yeah, but I'm also a good shooter. Like, he's out there working out with Steph, and his big takeaways are all the other stuff.
Right.
Because Mike can also put the ball in the hoop. But what are the other layers to becoming one of the greatest shooters ever?
All right, number one for you?
Yeah,
number one.
They're both wrong. It's Bo. That's got to be the answer, honestly.
All right.
We don't know how much we're going to see him this year. So preseason is like his season. It's bowl season in the preseason. We also get to see like a different look from him. Like we were finally starting to see like coaches talking about him.
Right.
Other teammates are starting to talk about him, and they're challenging him. Like that's the one person that has been challenged this entire. He has a lot to prove if no one else does. And we already know like how entertaining of a player that. To see him in preseason with not a lot of like pressure or expectation and just go out and play basketball, I think that's where he's best at. So bowl season right now.
Flash that one.
Gordon's back. Let's go. The vibes are pre-immaculate. That's so true. They're pre-immaculate. I love it. So with Bull, Matt Moore had a funny take on Locked On with me last night where he said he would root for Bull to get a D in PCD tonight. Because all we hear about is his like attitude is good. Like it would be the ultimate Malone test. You wanted to go galaxy brain. If Malone just didn't play him, he played everyone else, including Peter Cornelly, just to see. Like, are you really about it?
Stay ready.
God.
You never know.
It's like the final test just to see if he can handle it. Then he'll play 30 minutes on Wednesday.
I mean, I'm sure Bulls look good. I'm not going to lie. I did get some Emmanuel Mudiay feels from that. That's a story for another day.
We'll never forget that, sitting outside of the halls where that see you and like, say, who's looking good? It's like, Moody. Like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, that is a great story. I'm with Dev. Bull was in my top 3, though. Bull was probably 3. Aaron Gordon's 2 for me. I'm excited to watch a lot of guys. Like Peter Cornelly, I can get talked into being excited about watching Peter Cornelly.
I could be talked into it.
I'm talking myself into it right now.
Monte Morris is kind of an interesting one, too, because excited maybe isn't the word you use for a guy who's kind of a known quantity. But weird summer for him. What kind of shape is he in? How ready is he to take the wheel?
What about Zeke Naji, guys?
I'm a little nervous to watch Zeke Naji, to be honest.
Excited is not the right word.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous because if he has a bad shooting night, I'm going to be like, shit, was Summer League not as fake as we thought it was?
Oh, my goodness.
So I'm a little nervous for Zeke. I'm still a believer, but I'm a little nervous.
I'm curious also just to see how much he plays. I mean, we have no idea where Zeke fits into the rotation, if at all. I mean, we assume he's out of the fully healthy rotation, but is Vlatko ahead of him? You know, is he playing at the 3? Is he playing at the center spot? Is he playing at the 4? I do think that tonight, it's not a big night for him, but I do think that this is like, you know, he has some ground to make up. So he's the one I definitely have my eye on. Peter Cornelly is also on my list, though.
There you go.
And here's why. How many games in the preseason do you think Peter Cornelly is going to play?
2?
Probably. 2 out of 5? That sounds about right to me. Maybe 3 out of 5. So tonight I expect, with Yoke out, I expect Peter Cornelly to go in there, and I just want to see what does he look like. We've only ever seen him in Summer League. And like, I'm so curious if he looks like a guy that just clearly does not belong.
Right. You'll be able to probably tell in like 30 seconds with Peter Cornelly.
Yeah.
He'll either fit in or stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
You know?
Dev, is there anybody else that you're excited about watching? Answer Jeff Green. I mean, he's making his Nuggets debut tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, just to see him have fun with those type of guys. He's like a older vet. He's uncle, I guess.
Uncle Jeff, yeah.
I lost one uncle, so I guess I have to see what the vibes are to see if I'm going to pick up a new uncle or not. But
It'd be funny if he
also
called him Dad.
No, that would.
We're like, wait, what?
That would have made. I should have did it. He would have made him so mad.
Been very mad.
So mad. But yeah, I really do think I want to see how he like vibes with the team. Right now, it's going to be the young guys, like,
right.
And we already know like a person that he's going to actually gravitate towards is going to be Jokic. Like that's just kind of what brought him in. So like to see him out there with the young guys and just his young spry self. Like I'm excited to see that.
Oh, and like, is Jermichael Green the exact same person he's always been? I've got my eye on that as
Yes,
well.
I can guarantee you.
I'm really excited to see how Jermichael Green has not
He's
changed.
the least excited person I am
So,
to see tonight.
so I actually put a poll out yesterday where I was just like, who are you excited? I think I put Bull, Michael Porter, and Bones as the 3 options. Then I had other. 100% of the write-in votes were for Facu, who we haven't even discussed tonight. Argentina is in the chat right now, completely showing out, guys. We got to give him some love. Look, Facu is another guy who is like a known quantity. Like, I feel like I know what we're getting. But here's one thing I'll never forget as long as I live. Last year's first preseason game. Do you guys remember? It was our first look at Facu, and Facu probably dove on the floor for like 12 loose balls.
Right.
He
played the hardest anyone ever has in a preseason game.
In any game ever. Like, he just brought the intensity up. So I'm looking forward to that again. I want to see, does Facu, now that he's a second-year player, was that all like nervous energy? Oh, this is my first year, I got to make it fresh. Or is that just who he is even this year?
That was a little funny because like last year he was the MVP of preseason. Like,
He was the MVP.
He was the guy, and it was like, I don't know if you remember like a couple years back when like Kevin Hart was the guy of the celebrity all-star game. He won every MVP and he just went out and dominated every time, even though it was funny.
I remember he's the last thing I'll ever remember about the celebrity game, because I'll never watch it again after watching him.
That was hilarious. But also like it was just like entertainment the entire time. And I think Facu, he's the same type of entertainment just because he's all out at all times. Like you gravitate towards him. You have to see him. You're just gonna stare at him the entire time because he plays so hard. He moves like just different than everyone else.
Here's the thing about Facu. I actually was speaking to a group of Argentinian friends about Facu earlier today, a couple hours ago.
Wow.
And they tell me he's probably closer to 5'8" than 5'11". And I can tell you one thing from experience. If you're 5'8" or under, the 200% thing, that's who he is. That's a requirement. That's how he got here.
He's bringing it again
That's
tonight.
how he got here.
Yeah.
He can't afford to give 100.
How many steals is Facu getting tonight?
Tonight,
he's going to play 20 minutes?
Yeah, I'll set over under 2.5.
Ooh, are you going to take
a
over?
good line.
Yeah, come on.
I wonder if we're underselling how more comfortable Facu could look this year. Because look, the guy played, a decade over in Europe at the highest level. To play 10 years there and then your first year here in the NBA at 30 years old. It's a big difference, man. So I think he's going to look a lot more comfortable just in preseason and in this season. So we've probably undersold that a bit.
Guys, MA3 Productions in the chat has given us a very fun fact. Cornelie basically means hard or horned.
Cool. Am I supposed to touch that?
Anybody?
A little too close to a former Nuggets center.
I think Peter
liking,
actually means stone.
Okay. All right. Carved from stone.
Hard.
Yeah, stone hard.
Hard
rock?
No.
Do we have a new hard rock?
You didn't get my reference just now, but it's a little too close to Hartenstein for
it is a little too close to Hartenstein.
Surprising amount of Hartenstein talk in that pregame.
Well, he's on the Clippers, which I know. Which I actually didn't know. So.
By the way, Malone, a big Hartenstein guy.
I know he was just asked about it
to
as if it was Gary Harris. I'm like, Hartenstein was on the team for like 4 months.
He had a cup of coffee before he was out.
I don't know if this is.
All right, everybody's favorite part of the day. Preseason, postseason, off, doesn't matter. DraftKings Sportsbook always has bets for us to make, and that includes tonight. Dev, let's open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app and take a look at what line we have available. If you're betting on preseason, by the way, guys, let's do it. Why
you're
not,
a good soldier.
Yeah, you're a good soldier.
I just can't believe that DraftKings just wants us to make money in the preseason. This is who we are, making money. To go with it, just to start out, the Nuggets are favored by 2.5 points.
Hell yeah, we are.
They're winners. But that's not the one that you take. It's the over 215.
Oh, I like it.
There's no way that these guys aren't going to just try to score.
But are they going to be off? Is it their jitters? You think everybody brick?
Not with this team. I don't see this exact group doing it. First off,
what is the number?
215.
215.
There's no one
that's our group bet,
be able
right?
to. Yeah, that's the bet.
All right, we're all doing it, guys.
All right.
Hammer in the over.
Everyone, get in there. Hammer that over.
I can't wait to root for Peter Corneli in the fourth quarter.
Oh, we're going to be going down to the wire.
You told me he was a specialist. Clanks a 3.
That freaking scout.
Yeah, and then just also let you know, there's no player props in the preseason. It's just not.
That's probably for the
which is disappointing.
It's kind of disappointing. That'd be so hard. We'd steer everyone the wrong way, but not us. Not us here. 215 is what we're going to go with.
Yeah.
There's actually no more potential bets you could make.
Yeah. So it's just those ones.
So Dev's hands were really tied.
The
Hey.
money line, the
Hey.
spread, and the over/under.
Hey.
Let's go, boys.
We back.
I missed
Dev.
this. I missed you.
We
I
missed
missed
you
all
guys.
of you.
Hit that like on the way
I
back. The
would take
vibes are
Nuggets
feeling great.
to win the first quarter if I can make.
You
that
can
bet.
take that one?
I think you might be able to do it live,
Oh.
not pregame.
Alrighty. Well, there you go, guys. You know what? We're gonna be back. Find a stream. It's not on television. Find a stream somewhere.
luck.
Watch the game along with us, and then we're gonna be back right afterwards for a post-game show. Yes, even in the preseason, we're doing post-game shows.
You want to look for the little X's. The big red X's just create more pop-ups. So like the little X's. And then you-
We'll see you guys.